This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to my recap of the Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 12, The Outpost. I reviewed this episode earlier today, so here's my recap. It's going to be filled with spoilers, so you've been warned, and let's go straight into it. Crosshair watches as more clones begin to complain about how they're being forced into retirement and not knowing what to do, as he is assigned to a new mission under a Imperial lieutenant who has a clear hatred of clones. The two, with a few other clone troopers, head off to a planet to go and secure cargo. And once they land there, they go and meet with the clone commander in charge, who has lost most of his men. His name is Mayday. And with this, he tells them how bad things are and that they need more help. But the lieutenant simply dismisses him and says that they just need to make do with what they have and tells him to stop complaining. Mayday and Crosshair go out to check the perimeter and begin to discuss things. And they discuss that things are getting pretty bad for clones and they're really not sure what they're doing. And Crosshair, although, goes back to his defaults of saying that they're just doing their jobs, he begins to question what's going on. Soon, sensors go off, saying an attack is imminent, and with this, they are going into the base to help defend it. Crosshair takes a sniper position and prefers to aim at one of the troopers, but an explosion temporarily blinds him, and the guy manages to escape with Crosshair's shot, only wounding him. He tries to track him, but he is called back to the base to go and make a report, and since it's going to be suicidal to go into the caves on his own. The lieutenant is furious and demands for Mayday and Crosshair to retrieve all of the stolen packages on their own. And when Mayday points out that this is next to impossible, the lieutenant does not care and tells them that they have to figure out how to do it and forces them to go off. The two clones go through the tunnels and discover the body of the man that Crosshair shot, who was left alone by his companions. And Crosshair makes a cold remark that they shouldn't have dragged dead weight, and it was a white student, and his quickly growing friend makes a joke to not die on his watch, and Crosshair continues on, stepping on a landmine. Mayday goes to disable it, and is very careful, saying that they don't have the equipment to properly do it, but he's found ways around. And with this, he goes around the corner after he has set little pieces to hold it in, and Crosshair doubts him, saying that if he was so confident, why isn't he staying around? And Mayday simply says that he's not stupid, and if something does go wrong, it wasn't going to be good for him to be there. And Crosshair steps off, and it turns out to work, and the two continue on to continue their mission. When they reach the enemy base, they begin to scope it out, and going in, they toss a stun grenade in, and begin to fight through the enemy forces. They're slowly picking them off, but soon those will be overrun. And with this, Crosshair shoots an explosive and uses that to get them away. And through this, some of the cargo has spilled out, and they go to investigate what it is and learn that it is armor for the new Imperial stormtroopers that was recently passed by the Imperial Senate. And with this, they are both devastated, but begin to run in panic as an avalanche caused by the explosion begins to come down towards them. Both clones are buried, but Crosshair is able to dig himself out and goes to Mayday, where he digs through the snow, finding him, and Mayday says that he's not going to make it and to just leave him behind, but Crosshair refuses, pulling him out of the snow and dragging him to the base. The Imperials are just simply loading up the cargo not even aware that the other two clones are missing, and are quickly in shock when the two clones come back, and with it, Lieutenant sends him off, and Crosshair and Mayday come down as Crosshair begs for medical help for Mayday, and Lieutenant refuses to give it, saying that the clones are expendable, and Crosshair watches in horror as Mayday passes away, and Lieutenant begins to go into Crosshair, telling him that if he ever questions his orders again, that he'll be getting a fate worse than Mayday. And with this, Crosshair looks up in despair and looks upon the birds and wishes to be free. And calling the lieutenant's name one more time, he takes out his blaster, fires it, and kills the lieutenant. Too tired to even fight back, Crosshair just passes out and lets himself be taken into Imperial custody. Crosshair eventually awakens in a lab where Imperial scientists prepare to do horrific experiments on him. As he tries to get free, he sees that it's hopeless and is knocked out by the drugs put into him. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.